Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. Welcome back to the Royal Table today. And today I have with me
Your boy Rock from Rock Lifestyle. I'm in the house.
Sayara the Alchemist 3 times.
Let's go. You
Let's
already
get it.
know what time it is. Today we'll be asking a very, very simple question, which is fitness hard or is it easy? Have we made this really complicated or is just too much information out there? Let me start with Rock. What do you think, man?
Well, first of all, it is a complicated answer. And
All right.
and the reason why is because we've been given so many different information of how to do this and the muscle magazines that tell you other people's formulas and everything, and you think you fit into that criteria of that person, right? You're like, oh, I want to look like that, and not understanding the basics that it takes. The three body types. You know what I'm saying? Working toward those levels of really getting into your workout. So, and I think some people are gatekeepers when it comes to information because they think, oh, I should just train you. You don't need to know information. It's just like, this is the way the person gonna stay with me if I'm just telling them and not really giving them that information. So I think sometimes we make it complicated on purpose and we confuse ourselves with that excess of knowledge that is always out there. We got AI now, we got Google, we got AI, we got all these things that make a person feel like they're a personal trainer. But in actuality, in the whole scheme of things, this is an art. It's an art to actually getting somebody's body to what they really want it to be.
So basically what you're saying is there's too much information out there that makes it difficult for people to actually access this information about fitness or what?
No, so here's my take on that. The information that's there, a vast majority of it at its roots is legit. Calories in versus calories out, some form of resistance. Get your body in motion to burn calories. Eat better choices of foods. Like whichever way you spin it and whoever you take it from, there's a general consensus and baseline of the information that is accurate. My problem is not even with the information that's there. My problem is with the fake motivational people. They're the problem. And here's why they're the problem. Because they are taking something as simple as get your body in motion, make better choices with foods, and then they're turning it into something to sell as if it's a badge of an honor you need to grind. You need to go isolate yourself and disappear for 6 months. You need to go in the dungeon and do all kinds. That has nothing to do with fitness, man. Absolutely nothing. You don't need to go in the dungeon. You don't need to disappear for 6 months or none of that. And you don't have to do it by yourself either. Nothing beats a workout with a motivated or an inspired partner. Someone that's going to push you to be better, right? Regardless of whatever it is that you could be running, you could be swimming. Having someone next to you that's not going to stop when you stop will push you to go the extra mile. So I don't think it's the fitness industry itself. It's the people around fitness that's spinning fitness into this thing about I want to motivate people. I want to be a positive example of whatever. And it's not with a genuine intent to make people better. It's just, they just want social media clout. They want people to like and follow, and then come behind it is some sales pitch of how to buy my program. Now you got coaches and trainers and all these people who want to get in the fitness industry that are competing for the market of people to buy their program, not because what they have is legit, but because they're trying to appeal to people's emotions and get them to like them. It's out of likability and not out of effectiveness. So I could even go in on, y'all remember when CrossFit came about?
Yeah.
I was like, this has got to be the stupidest form of it. I'm sorry, man. I was like, this is so dumb. Why are you making me perform a lift that I've never performed before in my life, snatch, in seconds, and make me do it really fast? you're bound to get hurt because of that.
Yeah.
And then you spin this motivational stuff behind it and trying to make it seem like it's something other than it's not. And then I was like, when I first saw it, I was like, there's no way that this should be even marketed as something that people should do and call it, oh, it's better functional. No, it's not. No, it is absolutely not.
I mean, so my story is this, man. Can we go deeper into why we think people really make it complicated, right? Because listen, even with the fitness, the CrossFit and everything,
Yes.
before going into fitness, there's this fear everyone has. Oh my goodness, I can't do the dieting. For instance, right? People think dieting is so difficult and everything, but why do we think people really try to scare people from fitness?
I don't think it's scaring them. I think it's a combination of what you're saying. They're trying to get the likes and the wants. And if you come into a career that requires you to market yourself, you look at different dynamics when it comes to how you're going to be popular, what's going to make yourself be engaging with people and stuff like that. And people take these certain steps to actually making themselves feel that way, which kills it for people who are really into it. That I can't lie. When I'm marketing myself and my company, I have to bring a certain package to highlight what I'm going to do and how I train people.
Yes.
So it's just that it's so many people trying to do it just to trying to be like you said.
Yes.
It kind of watered down everybody else that's really in that industry of doing it. And when it does that, it creates pockets for the cross-training evolution. You know what I mean? Because now it's something different. It's something new. It's something out there. And cross-training came when COVID was out. You know what I mean? It was something that people couldn't go to the gym, so they kept making up new workouts that they were doing. And the idea of body in motion does make you better, but poor form and everything else that goes with it,
Yes.
The gains doesn't outweigh the cons.
No.
You know what I mean? Like if you get hurt, you down for 6 months. Off of a regular, just an average tear or something like that, you have to allow yourself to heal in a certain manner. So when those pockets open up, it brings the CrossFit. It brings I see people saying that muscle ups are just that's a normal exercise. And it's like, don't get me wrong, it's cool to look at, but it's the reation why we have dips.
Yo, what you got to say, man? What you got to say? Yeah.
Muscle ups is the most egotistical,
Yes.
nonsensical pseudo exercise ever in the history of exercises, man. Like, what is that? What is that? Like, you did a pull up, good on you, but then you're pulling yourself. I've seen so many people hurt their shoulders, hurt themselves trying to get over the. I'm like, yeah, I did a muscle up, and then what? And then what? You know, and then it's like, what are you hoping to gain out of that? You know, so it's like, there's just, it's that, and there's so many other exercises that people make up in the gym to try to like sell themselves as if this form of exercise is better, is superior, and it's like, you know, but what's driving that is the message that they put behind it on social media, like selling motivation and selling this, you know, blanket, this is the best way to do it, and then they try to slap some research behind it and saying, and it's just that's the stuff that I see, but it's always this angle of selling this motivation and it's this fake motivation on top of it, and then bamboozling people with misinformation. Nowadays, to go back to your point that makes it even much more difficult is, let's be honest, man, it's the introduction of anabolic, you know, substances. Ooh. Because if we were to say like, all right, if I'm new to the sport or I'm new to fitness, but I know I want to be health conscious and I want to stay completely natural 100%. Where do I go to find my information? Where would I go right now? What website, what person can I 100% go and trust and that can validate that this person is 100% natural and going to give me the advice and the guidance that I need to, you know, to start my journey? Because you can't find it.
I think that's the problem. People are going for information, not the validation of how to actually get into that position.
Yeah.
Information has been too much information and ready information at will has destroyed the mindset of what people trust into. We used to actually really respect a person that was smart because we knew all the steps it took you to get to be smart. You know what I mean? You got your subject of what you want to know.
Okay.
Then you had to actually go to the library. You had to know the Dewey Decimal System. You have
Man,
to find
library,
the book.
man. Look, wait. Let me put a pause right there, man. 'Cause library, let's be honest, I haven't been to the library in like forever, right? Like the question is this, right? Information, like you say, information, right?
Yeah.
Make it easy. So for me, that I've never been to the gym. You're talking about steroids. How do I know what is right and what is wrong? How do I know what information I'm getting is gonna feed me? You're talking about library. I haven't been to the library.
But that's where I'm going at.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like when I previously stated that if I wanted to do it naturally, there isn't. You can't. It's very difficult to find a genuine source that you know this person is 100% natural and they can guide me along the right path to give me the information that I need. Because the introduction and the wide use of anabolic substances right now, you don't know who is who. And there's so many people that's fake being natural and selling programs and giving information that's not based on a natural process, right? So it's misleading people again. And then there's so many people that clearly aren't natural. We know they're not natural, that are giving information and people are buying that because they look at this person and not putting to the side that you're getting advice from someone who isn't natural, right? Like case in point, I saw a video from Dexter Jackson, former Mr. Olympia.
Okay.
He said he had a chronic cough, hiccup, and it was going on for months and he couldn't get rid of it. Went to all these doctors, they couldn't figure it out. So he went to like a specialist and the specialist says, hey, the reason why you have these hiccups is because of the artificial sugars that are in that are in diet foods and stuff like that. So he was saying the context of the video was that those things are the worst things that are ruining people's diets right now. And I'm like, what? Like, you have a cocktail of a chemistry lab in your system, bro. Of all the things that you're taking.
Yeah.
Of all the things that are in your system right now, the worst thing that you can find is an artificial sweetener? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like and then people, there are thousands, millions of people that have watched this video and they would totally overlook the fact that this information is coming from someone who's on anabolics that is describing a problem and completely omitting the anabolics and saying it's because of this. You know, now everybody's gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna, instead of, now if someone is struggling, they're obese or they're struggling with their weight, and instead of trying to, you know, like to transition off of, right now they're eating processed and drinking processed sugars, and then the next best thing for them is that artificial sweetener. I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
Like we gotta wean you off until you can get to the non-sweetened green teas, and you can, but you can't just go from this to this. Like, so the best middle ground, I would rather you do the artificial stuff than to do the processed stuff. And then here you have someone that's reputable that's giving advice and say, yeah, man, that's really bad, while they have a whole cocktail of a chemistry lab in their system. Like, come on, man.
Man, that is so true, man. That is so true.
But because they speak so eloquently, they're delivering it that the unknowing person is listening to it like, yeah, you're right, man. Let me get rid of this diet soda. And, you know, like, come on, man.
Listen, I understand, right? But the real question, I feel like, you know, is still yet to be answered is, how do I differentiate from what is real and what is not, right? Listen, I will start with my own self. When I started this health fitness, right? When I look at people, heck, one of my first trainers was AJ Wilson. This guy, internet sensation, everything. I had program from him. I'm like, I'm trying to look like him. He was big. Then I have zero knowledge of steroids, and I understand your point of why steroid use makes it difficult. Because remember, the question is fitness, you know, easy or difficult? And steroid use definitely make it that, right? Yes. So my question is, how do you differentiate, right? Because for someone that doesn't know, hey man, this person may be on steroid use. Like I said, my first trainer was on one, and I didn't know, and I was here eating chicken breast, plain chicken breast with rice, thinking I would get the result that he got. right? And he never told me he was on that. So how do I differentiate for someone that's never been, or someone that never know what steroid use be?
Yeah, and that's why I think now, yes, I think we all agree that it's difficult. It is difficult to differentiate because you have these competing industries and individuals for the market's attention. You have on one side, you have like genuine, legit fitness people, right? That are dedicated to fitness. And then you have these motivational people that are not necessarily dedicated to fitness or understand the dynamics of fitness, and they're putting out these videos and they're putting out these information, pseudo information that looks like it's dedicated to fitness, but it's more it's just to get the person's attention and make them feel good, that adrenaline boost. I need some motivation, so let me go. And I got people's names on the top of my head, but for the sake of, I don't want to call them out. but there's and don't get me wrong, just because someone's on anabolics, it doesn't negate the fact that they can actually guide you and help you as well, right? Like I'm not saying that because they're on anabolics, they can't help you. Sure, they can help you, 100% they can help you, but they just have to let you know, like in your case, hey, look, results may vary. Results may vary, right? And as long as they are professional enough to let the people that they're coaching know that, look, man, results may vary. And if you want these results, that's a different process. Yeah. But it is, that's why I was saying right now, it's very difficult. It's difficult because of that, because you have these competing industries of these competing individuals. And worse yet, you have people that nothing like triggers me more when I see someone on social media calling themselves a bodybuilder. And that's male or female, right? Bodybuilder. You're not a bodybuilder. A baseball player does what?
Plays baseball. Yep.
Right? Basketball player plays basketball.
Yes,
a bodybuilder
correct.
bodybuilds. If you ain't never stepped on a stage, just because you have muscles don't make you a bodybuilder. Bodybuilding is a legit sport that requires an individual to go through a process, get on stage, and be judged, right? So if you haven't done that, then don't call yourself a bodybuilder, because then again, that's also misleading. So, yes. But then you have people that's again never been on stage. And then they're like, the headline, bodybuilder. No, you're not. You've never been on stage. There's a process that you have to go through in order to call yourself a bodybuilder, a legit bodybuilder.
Yes.
So that's why it is difficult. It is very difficult for someone, and I told my story when I first started out. I was 300 grams of this,
Yeah,
and someone saw
that.
me and was like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" I said, "I want to be a bodybuilder." He said, "Well, you're doing it wrong." And then he sat me down, and he was natural, Lifetime Natural, and he showed me how to do it properly. So, but currently, yeah, the question direct answer to your question, yeah. It is very difficult. It is.
So now I understand so many misinformation out there, right? That makes it difficult. But I think one thing I really want us to talk about or to touch on again is, what about personal or individual accountability? Rob, what do you think?
The accountability is pretty much on you. It's like self-motivation. You know what I mean? Like, yes. You can lie to me all day, until you, and most of the things I tell my client, when you can look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you've been actually on your diet or on your regimen, that's when the truth actually comes through. You can tell me as much as you want to. I'm going to notice it. I'm going to see your body not changing. I can only motivate you but so much. But the self-accountability is actually, that's your job. Mm-hmm. Now, we're there to enforce accountability. So we call you like you guys do. You guys call up, do the checkups, making sure if the person has any issues, stuff like that, you go through there. But honestly, yeah, you're right. That's the major part. That's that part of the formula that actually makes the formula work. If you don't have it, and you're waiting on me to tell you to eat better,
Yes.
you're not gonna ever get there.
Yeah, like I gotta agree with that, and I don't want it to sound like I'm contradicting myself, right? To the general information of eating better and exercising, we're talking about in 2026.
Yeah.
It's almost, it's unbelievable that there are people that it's almost comparable to finding someone today that is illiterate. Like how is that? Like, how could that be possible in 2026? That where there's so many resources, infinite amount of resources that can help you, right? And programs that can help you get started, at least learn your letters, right? So to find someone that's like, nah, like, yeah, that means that's 100% on you.
Yes.
There's so many gyms, so many trainers, so the abundance of information that's out there. At a minimum, you should be able to do something to get started, to move, to at least move, right? And this isn't 20, 30 years ago where there were a lot of gatekeepers that knew, like the process and what you had to go through, and here's how you do it. But now, like there's an abundance of information that's easily accessible. You should be able to at least have a process, a structure, and be moving and doing something.
Correct.
There's gyms everywhere. Every gym has a trainer or trainers in the gym to help you, and people in the gym that you can imitate. So like,
yes.
to not do anything at all, it's just that. I think the issue on that is something way bigger than possibly this conversation, man.
I mean, I totally agree, because at the end of the day, nothing beats personal accountability, right? Because, there's so much information out there that can either motivate you or just kills your motivation from going to the gym. Heck, I'm going to read this stat real quick. It says, according to World Health Organization, 1 in 4 adults globally are not physically active. According to CDC, over 40% of US adults are obese, or about 73% are overweight. So now my question is, when does fitness become easy?
Man,
I don't think it ever becomes easy until you make it your lifestyle. Because you're forcing a puzzle to fit in a place where it doesn't supposed to go. So you got to get your mindset to the point of knowing what you're trying to do and what you're trying to elevate to with a reason. You can't wake up one day 200 and so much pounds at such a height and you're fat and think, oh yeah, I'm just gonna just go there. I'm just gonna do everything this person did and think that's gonna be sustainable. That tends to lead you down to a path where you fall because you're like, man, I'm not moving fast enough. I'm not going nowhere. I done been to the gym a month or so and I don't see any changes. And that's why I think where that has to be a mental state where you know where you want to go and take those steps. Trust in the process. Get with somebody that actually can teach you some things that can work into your normal day instead of it feeling like so taboo to you to, oh man, this is just so crazy hard. Yeah. Like just eating chicken breasts and just eating rice. It's a lot more things you can do to getting your body to that point. So,
I mean, I like what you said. Real quick, man.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I like what you said about trusting the process, because I've heard it so many times, trusting the process. But in all actuality, it's like, what does that even look like, trusting the process?
Before we even get to trusting the process, to go back to the first question, the movement, the fake motivational movement. There's so many of them, I'm just labeling them all under that one umbrella. What's under that umbrella? Don't body shame me. Man, you're fat.
Hey man, let me sit my word up for this, man.
It's not body shaming. It is an honor. Look, the CDC already said it. 73% of y'all. That means 3 out of every 4 of y'all are tipping the scale, man. And this isn't. I'm not like making fun of you.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's facts. It's right here on the paper too.
You can't look at a dog and say that could be a reindeer. No, it's a dog. Like, call it what it is.
Yes.
You know, and until and when I saw people going, you know, it's body shaming, it's, you know, the whole movement, and then it's self-love. No, it's not. Stop lying. Because if it was self-love, then you wouldn't put yourself in a position where now you're gonna have health issues, heart issues, and all kinds of dietary issues because you're not taking care of your health.
Yes.
Self-love includes taking care of your health. You can't say it's self-love because I just need to love the way I look. You know, and on another point, man, on another point, when I see like a fat kid that's, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9, like that should be child abuse, man. Because it's like, what type of future is this child gonna have? What type, like seriously, what type of future that they're gonna get? They're gonna get bullied. They're gonna be ostracized. They're gonna and they're not gonna be able to participate in a lot of things, sports that you gotta be fit for. And we love to say, hey, don't judge a book by its cover, you know, because it's what's on the inside. Sure, what's on the inside counts, but I gotta be real. But I'm gonna look at the cover too. If you want me to read the book, you take some time in taking care of the cover.
Yeah.
You know, so if it's all wrapped up in self-love, then take care of yourself.
True.
Because that's part of loving too. Don't just look at the fitness industry because the fitness industry is like holding a standard, and then you're like, well, I don't want to meet your standards, so I'm gonna go the complete opposite way and say it's all about love and you know, body positivity. Like you're kidding yourself and you're lying to yourself, and we all know it. We all know it. When you look in the mirror, there's no way that you're gonna say, I'm happy with what looks back at me.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
and that's right. So that is the issue. And then people, they put this narrative behind it that sounds motivational. Like you have to love yourself in the way that God created. God didn't create you 300 pounds, man. Stop lying. You didn't come out the womb obese.
Yeah.
You ate yourself that way. So let's be real about it.
Yeah.
And while you still draw breath, you can do something about it. And people don't care what you tell them, man. They care about what they see and what they can follow. So if you do the right thing and you're taking how many people have you been around just by eating your meals and being prepared, and all of a sudden they look and they're like, without even asking questions, they just start copying what you do.
Yeah. So for me, if I were to answer that is, you know, to how to make it easy, like you said, just taking those atomic steps, man, simple step. And I used to tell people one of the biggest and truest freedom in life is having self-discipline, right? You have your consistency, your schedule and everything. So with that, it makes things and routine easier for you to follow, right? So taking those small steps to achieving your results, or to just like, listen, man, I want to take a different step, different approach. And more importantly, you know, with what you say, even when people are obese, you know, or fat, let's not forget mental health plays a big role into this. When people think about fitness, we're not just talking about fitness in the gym, fitness mentally too. Like you said last time, where people think, oh, the gym is my therapy, right? Yes. Like, no, you got to go see the therapy. So we're talking about like the whole picture of health. Like mental health plays a huge role on that, right? So now to go back on the, you know, trusting the process, right? Because I remember, man, everyone who started the team, right, was part of the saying, trust the process. But people find it difficult to trust the process. And for me, if I was to say, trusting the process has so many multiple definitions where people think, oh, trusting the process is going 100% the whole time. But trusting the process is still going, even the days that it's just 0%, even the days that it's just 1%, man. But there's this, you know, skewed interpretation of what trusting the process is. So for me, that's what I wanted you to like elaborate on. You know, as coaches that you guys have been, you've told your clients, trust the process, but what does it actually look like?
Well, Rod said it last time that we spoke. He said that when someone comes to us, I don't know, I'm going to start with a hypothesis. Based on the numbers that I can measure, right, from an in-body and how much you tell me you weigh and your height and your body fat percentage, I'm gonna theorize some macros. I said, I think you should be around X amount of protein, X amount of carbs. It's an estimated guess that these should be good starting out to satisfy your hunger, right?
Correct.
And then as we progress, right, maybe you might lose a pound in the first week. You might not. You might stay the same. If you stay the same, or if you don't lose and you stay the same, that's still a win, because we at least stabilize you where you're not going north, right? We stabilize you, so we know that these macros are good. Now, if I gave you those macros and you're gaining, now I'm gonna have to adjust those a little bit,
right.
and then or adjust them until we can stabilize you a little bit, and now we can keep you satiated while you're losing pounds and while you're losing body fat, and then XXXX, and then there's a multiple steps that each coach differentiates, right? I like to do cleanses. Maybe he does a cleanse. Maybe he does a nature walk. Maybe I'm like, go do this, right? And that's the process. But the foundation of it is the same. That we have steps that we've went through ourselves and we've taken people through. That we have to start here, and we're gonna methodically go through these phases. We're not gonna crash diet this thing and get you 10 pounds off in a week and 15. And some coaches know how to do that. I know how to do that. But we know that if I take you through that, the on the other side of that is not going to be good. And you're not going to like that process, right? So we're going to methodically take you through these steps and these phases, which is going to require for you to be patient. You know, you didn't become X amount of weight overnight, so you're not going to lose it overnight, right? So just be patient. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with your coach, right? Be patient with the transformation, you know, the time that it takes to transform it and become what you're trying to become. And that's really the process. It's not a standard process for everybody. We require like personal development. I won't even touch you until you do a self-image.
Yes.
Because I need to know that you know what it is, where you're trying to go.
Wait, what is self-image?
It's how you view yourself and how you want to show up in the world. Like, how do you want people to see you when you look in the mirror? This is what you see, and and something that you can accept for yourself. And that's up to you to create that. That's not up to looking out in the world and saying, I want to be like him, I want to be like her. Like, what do you look like? The best or a better version of you in the direction that you're trying to go. Detail.
Yes.
Like detail. How do you look? How do you feel? How do you think? How does this new version of you show up in the world? And how would you know when you get there, when people say, oh man, and they start telling you the things that you want for yourself, and they validate, oh man, like if I want to get my arms bigger, how do I know that they got bigger? When I work, and then I show up in the world and someone's like, man, your arms got bigger. Like, check.
Yeah. I mean, you got like 2 compliments from Dan already this week. But what do you think about that, Rock? Trusting the process. When your clients come and you let them, hey, trust the process. What does that mean?
Well, he's pretty much summing a lot of this stuff up. We have certain techniques that we use, but we just use them in different ways, right? Mm-hmm. But it still have the same basis. Me, I tend to have interviews, straight up interviews. I have a questionnaire, so you understand that this is not my workout, this is our workout. This is you. This is what you want. This is not where I think you should be. Where do you want to be? And then if it's too outrageous, I'm like, well, let's take some steps towards it. I try to make it to like a realistic stage of, let's not try to go from this to this real quick, because we have so many steps in between to get you there. So that's what I do, and that's why I say he summed it up, man. Like, there's nothing else unless I'm just gonna just be repeating and chatting,
True.
But that's just what I do, man. Because the process is not the end game. The process is the journey. So that's where it's at, and I tell people enjoy it all.
No, I mean, I definitely agree. For me personally, again, based on what I do, I say trusting the process is literally trusting yourself, right? If there's any reason why you yourself feel like, you know what, I want to change my lifestyle, trust yourself, trust the decisions that you are making into, I want to make a different decision. I want to make better choices. I want to be a better person. Trusting yourself that, all right, if whatever forces, whatever thing that motivates you to make that decision, trusting yourself that is going to lead you to the places that are going to literally deliver those results to you.
Yeah. And trusting your coach too now.
Yeah.
Right? Because I will see people go from coach to coach to coach, thinking that this coach is going to give me better results than that coach, and it's you. You know, like it's you, right? Like you have to each coach has their own individual process.
Yes.
They might take you through a 6-month process because in their calculation, this will be more permanent for you, right? This will, you know, this next coach might, you know, take you through a 90-day process, a 30-day process. But then again, from the fake gurus, the fake motivational people who are selling, lose 50 pounds in 30 days,
Yes,
right?
yes.
That stuff. And then and the information that's out there where who are you listening to? People readily and easily take advice. The Team Master always told us, man, if someone is trying to sell you a pair of shoes, take a look at the one they're wearing first.
Yes.
Why? Because chances are that's the one that they're going to sell you. You think you're getting this brand new pair of shoes, instead you're getting them dusted, busted, rundown things that's on their feet.
Yes.
So,
very
I see people taking advice from people that I'm like, why are you listening to this person? And it's only because they find the person successfully marketed themselves. Maybe they got their shirts off, maybe they took pictures of their glutes, and you find something appealing and attractive about them, and then you're like, okay, yeah, I can identify with this person. I really like them. I really like their advice. Because I'm saying this because I've had so many people that I've coached come to me and like, oh, check this part. I really like her advice. You know, she gives good advice. I really like his advice. And I'm like, and I'm listening to it. I was like, no. I was like, this person is not even a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Okay, let's go on their feed and see when's the last competition they did. Because if you come on my feed, the last competition I did was just a few months ago. Like you could always see that not only the stuff that I talk about, I do. I practice.
Yes.
So, trusting your coach, going back to that, and I pride myself on being a coach that does what I ask people to do. I'm not going to ask you to do something that I have not done myself.
Yes.
I will never do that.
I treat it like a relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
if you first thing when people ask me advice and stuff like that, I'm always open. But my first question is do you have a coach? And they'll answer me. Yes, I got a coach. Well, what did he tell you? You know what I mean? Just to be fair, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then when they tell me what they tell me, I'm like, all right, well, I'm not gonna put my hands in somebody else's pot. They cooking, man.
Exactly.
I don't know where he's going at with this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so until you leave that relationship and then come to me, then you will get my whole theory of how I think we're gonna get you to where you're gonna go.
Exactly.
So basically, the relationship with the coach even matters a lot too.
does.
Yeah, man, I'm not playing with this man relationship.
Yeah.
You don't know where they're at. You don't even know what he went through with that person.
Yes.
So to demonize him and say he's not doing a good job and he's
Yes.
not doing this,
Yeah,
man, you don't know.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
stay out of it, man. I treat just like a relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
until you break up with him or her.
I love that. Listen,
Yeah,
let's even talk about that real quick, man. Because the relationship with your coach,
Yes.
man.
Yes.
I know we're talking about how easy or difficult it is, but
Yes.
the relationship with your coach plays a role into that. And listen, if you guys have a story, please let us know about this. The relationship,
Yes.
client and coach relationship. Why does this matter so much, yo?
Because if you're not in a relationship with a person, who are you gonna listen to?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I listen to people that I'm in a relationship with. You know what I mean? It can be marriage, it can be friendship, stuff like that. But just a random person off the street, I'm not really gonna take what you're telling me to heart because there's a bond when I say I'm in a relationship with you. I'm with you. So I'm required to do certain things as far as, showing submission to things that I'm not familiar with. And I don't supposed to go behind you and do extra research and try to cross-examine what you're talking about. If I say I'm in a relationship with you,
Yeah.
I need to trust in what you're doing, right?
Yes.
So that's how I look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's even on the flip side. So when somebody tell me they have a coach, I give that same respect.
Yes.
I give that same respect. Even if I don't agree with his tactics or how they're doing things, I keep my mouth shut. That's not my place.
Yes.
Because like I said, I don't know everybody's style. You know,
Yes,
so
yes.
that's what I do.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the relationship matters because there's a level of trust, there's a level of commitment, there's a level of loyalty. There's some fundamental values that have to be established and maintained within this relationship in order for it to work. Me personally, I care more about the people that I coach. I care more about their lives than whatever personal goals they have set. I want to make it to the stage, or I just want to lose 20 pounds, 30 pounds. I care about the totality of their lives more than the goal itself. So if they have a relationship issue going on, and I need to know because that relationship. I've coached someone like that. You know, she was married. She's 200 pounds. She's losing weight. We got about, I think we're probably like, we're cooking too. We're like a month in. We're over 10 pounds down, right? And she forgets her meal one day. Asks her husband to bring her something to eat. He brings her Chick-fil-A. Right? And I was like, that blew my mind. This was in my early stages of coaching because I didn't think that something like that would ever happen. And I was like, did he know? Does he know that you're on a diet? Yeah. And he still, instead of bringing you meal prep stuff, he brought you Chick-fil-A. Like, yeah, he loves me. And I was like, whoa. So now that tells me there's more at play here that I'm going to have to navigate through in order to get this person progressing.
Yes.
So there's a bunch of core values that has to be established and maintained. Because as a coach, I got to be able to coach through that because I know any which one of those triggers can derail this plan. And your life means more to me, and I would much rather see you, moving through life, progressing, making good choices and being able to navigate the challenges of life than just fitness, exclusive fitness.
Yes.
So,
Dude, I completely understand, and it goes into such a crazy event because, and this is just one of my stories.
Yeah.
All right. I was training this female at one time, right, and she was married. And she wanted to lose so much weight. It wasn't about getting on stage. She just had babies and she just wanted to get her sexy back. That's what she used to always tell me. And I was like, no problem. I learned she was in a relationship. Like I said, I found out she was married and she was doing this stuff. And her husband was self-sabotaging her because it was almost trying to discredit what I was doing in the movement that we was doing. And it was strictly by itself. Off of just fitness.
Yep.
But he was like trying to prove me wrong. So he was,
Wow.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it got bad, like from food to I'm not going to take you here.
Yeah.
He wants you to go to the gym. He's talking about, well, we don't got the money for it right now. And you done broke down everything that you do. So it's now I'm looking at it like, and I had to pull back and take the same route that you took. I had to, it was about her life.
yes.
Yeah.
So I couldn't push the issue
Yeah,
because I know, man, I don't want to tell you that he's sabotaging you. I don't want to do that.
Yep.
I need you to see that.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and the only way you can see that is if I just keep pushing and keep reiterating like, hey man, this is your calorie count.
Yes.
Right at this point, you probably should be here. What's going on? Is there something missing?
Yeah.
And then that's when the open up of, oh well, last week he wanted to go out and do this, and he felt bad because I didn't eat with him and stuff like that. That means he doesn't care about your journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I didn't say it out loud. What do you do? You know what I mean? So it's right. It's a lot of mental and outside like things that affect people movement, man. And it's so sad because it's like when you say you care about somebody and you want them to be their best, you have to really mean that.
Yeah.
You have to mean that and not get your pride involved because I'm a man and I'm teaching your wife. Dude, it's not even like that.
Yeah.
So
These are my opinions. The feedback that I'm giving, this is just how I operate. I'm well aware that we don't live in a perfect world, in a perfect society. where moral conduct is adhered to across the board, right? We've seen instances where coaches are, are having inappropriate relationships with their clients, and their clients are married, right? Or whether they're married or not, and we've seen it can get really, really convoluted at multiple levels. And when that happens, and you hear those stories, and you see stuff that happens like that, for someone who's trying to get into it, yes, now you could be apprehensive in who do I trust and should I trust, because I've heard these stories and I've seen these type of things. So I completely understand that side of this whole topic exists as well. So I'm just talking about from how I operate and from how the people around me I know operate.
Yeah.
I've had to draw solid lines and hard lines with people that I've coached because of such things, inappropriate behaviors, inappropriate or certain type of attitudes, or going against personal values that I have, that I stand on. So as a coach client, coach athlete, openness, your ability to come and talk to me and let me know what you're going through and what the challenges are or what your obstacles are, so I can help you navigate that, or so I'll be the first one to stop and say, hey man, maybe this path that we're going, we need to redo the strategy, because what's in front of you for your life, your relationship, your kids, your whatever, your job, that's more important than trying to push through to get a bigger chest and and chiseled abs. We could take another route to get there. And so openness, that requires a certain level of openness, so when people can't be open with me about that and they're just like, oh, I'm just going to push through, I'm like, that's not the answer. That's not the way I coach. So I just want to be clear on that these are just the opinions and feedback that I'm giving is just from my personal values on how I coach and how the people around me coach. Something I definitely wanted to touch on, right?
Okay.
When we talked about the gym participation, the 50% of new gym members quit within the first 6 months. And we see it every year. New year, new me.
Resolution.
New year, new me. I have these, new fit goals. And I don't want to call the gym name because it's not appropriate. But I went to a manager in a commercial gym and I said, how many people do y'all sign up a month? They go, roughly 300. I said, oh, okay, cool. And how many gym memberships do y'all lose a month? They said, roughly 300. Yeah, and I was like, wow, really, that much? So, knowing that 50% of new gym members quit within the first 6 months, what does that say about the gym culture? Or does that speak do y'all think that speaks on the gym culture itself?
For me personally, no, it doesn't. It doesn't speak on the gym culture. Like, everything starts from within the individual person. Right, the gym can either enable or kill people's motivation, but ultimately it starts from the individual self. Because at the end of the day, what is taking you from your bed out to the gym to go work out? Right, you can work out at the gym, you can work out at the park right here that we have in the area, right? But at the end of the day, it's the individual motivation, the discipline you have to get up every day and go.
And so this is my take on this, right?
Yeah.
There are, and I've frequented multiple gyms. What's the one consistent complaint that you and I have in every gym we go to? Just about. We come in, we're very social.
Yeah,
hey, how's it going?
yeah.
Right? If I lock eyes with you, we speaking, man.
There we go.
Right?
Yes.
And we just talked about this, how we will go into a gym and see someone, and this person would lock eyes. You lock eyes with me every day for the past 6 months, past year that I've been coming here.
2 years, yeah.
And you don't even open up and speak to me, right? And we, because of our social IQ, we're able to navigate past certain things in the gym culture, right? At one point, we're like, why is everybody looking at us so bad? And then we ask the people at the front, like, why is everybody giving us dirty looks, man? It's like, they just like that. So imagine if we didn't have the social IQ and the emotional intelligence, that would could deter us easily from like, man, I'm not going to this gym again.
Yeah.
And then we go to another gym and then it's the same thing there, right? Yeah, but we're able to overcome all of that because of who we are. But I can see how a new person that's like, all right, new year, new me, I'm ready to get this on, and they walk into that and it's like, I don't know what this machine does or what I'm supposed to be doing, but I can figure it out. And we look around and everybody's looking at them weird and giving them stanky looks, and it's not welcoming, right? And that's where I'm saying like it can, it's not welcoming enough. But here's my thing though. From what I know and what I see, it's not the fit people that aren't welcoming. Because when you go and if you don't know how to do something, right, a particular exercise, you look, you see the fittest person, like, hey man, what are you doing? And let me tell you.
So happy to share that.
Ready.
Fast people, man.
You can't even get them to stop.
No.
You're like, man, I just asked one piece of information, they give you a whole, like, man, right? So I don't think it's the fit people that are making the gym culture what it is.
Yes,
I think it's everybody else.
Because it's that fear that they embed into themselves that everybody's watching me. How many people do you done got to say, oh man, I'll work out with you. Can you come to my house because I don't like the gym? Why you don't like the gym? Oh, people be looking at me. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, no one's really paying attention to you like what you think. It's not even that serious.
No.
And, and to go back on what you were saying, I think why people leave the gym so quick or they don't stay true to it is because they don't set realistic goals. You know what I mean? They go out there, I'm gonna lose 30 pounds in 2 months. And it's not even realistic because even the things that they're having as their information is something that they don't print off of AI. It hasn't been validated between another personal trainer. You're not taking the things that you need to invest into yourself. You have to invest in yourself to take yourself serious. We buy Starbucks and all this other stuff that you'll put money on, but you wouldn't do it for yourself. The person you're supposed to be selfish to. You know what I mean? That's the reason why it's selfish. Once you do that, you feel obligated that, damn, I deserve this. I told my sister all the time, ever since she told me, oh, Rock, I need to go work out. Now, the only thing I tell her, I say, yes, you do, because you're worth it.
Ooh.
That's it, because you're worth it. So I'm not about to try to keep calling you and telling you to do it. I love you enough that you need to start loving yourself just as much as I love you.
Yeah.
So you're worth it.
Solid.
And then once that actually you get that, then you submit yourself to the idea of I might need somebody to help me out on this journey. And then that takes that person that you take as your battle buddy or somebody that just goes into this place that you're so scared of. Now you're not even thinking about people looking at you.
I agree with both of you guys' points, especially why the gym participation goes down to a whole 50% from people that sign up the whole year, right? Because at first I know I started with individual, start with the person, but after hearing your point, I think I might have to roll with that because it got me thinking, right? Remember this person that literally, even in the gym culture, right? Let's talk about people recording videos in the gym and everything. And this one person, when we were doing bicep curls, set up their camera right in front of us, man. Right in front of us to record that video. That can be intimidating. That is really annoying too as well.
Yeah.
The truth is staying fit isn't about doing extreme things. It's about doing the simple things consistently every day. Well, this is it for us at the Royal Table. Until next time, have a great day.